Harvard should apologize for the egregious anti-Semitism that took place on their college campus against Jewish American students.
Finally, someone is standing up to the Ivy League universities. Who could have ever imagined Harvard, a university which is revered throughout the world, would sink so low with blatant anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorism? Who could have ever imagined? It's such a paradox, such a dichotomy. Here's a university that is supposed to be teaching its students right from wrong, the morals, the ethics, the law of life. Yet what we saw last year, since October 7, what happened at Harvard and the other Ivy League universities is so appalling. It's so unbecoming professors and a university of this stature to sink so low. Finally, we have someone in the White House who's standing up towards it and keeping them accountable. Please listen with me to a press conference, which I think Karoline Leavitt is very poignant and very clear about the White House's response to what Harvard has done to the Jewish students and has allowed the anti-Semitism on their campuses and promoted it, and has done nothing to those who violated every code of ethics.
Thanks, Caroline. A follow-up on Harvard. The president floated on Truth Social, I believe, the possibility of removing tax-exempt status. How serious is that threat, and are there other universities he's considering? And then a follow-up question on foreign policy. Can you give us an update on what the president hopes to come from the next round of talks with Iran?
Sure. First, when it comes to Harvard, as I said, the president has been quite clear they must follow federal law. He also wants to see Harvard apologize, and Harvard should apologize for the egregious anti-Semitism that took place on their college campus against Jewish American students. There were professors who said that he had engaged in discriminatory behavior against Jewish students. Of course, you had the former president of the university saying bullying and harassment depends on the context. You also had an encampment on Harvard Yard that we all saw play out before the cameras. The university failed to impose formal discipline on any students for this anti-Semitic conduct violations, including the occupation of a campus building and the disruption of classes with bullhorns. The president believes Harvard should apologize to its Jewish American students for allowing such egregious behavior. As for the tax-exempt status, I would defer you to the IRS for any updates. I do want to answer your question on Iran, of course. The maximum pressure campaign on Iran continues, but as you know, the president has made it clear he wants to see dialogue and discussion with Iran while making his directive about Iran never being able to obtain a nuclear weapon quite clear. And the president spoke to the Sultan of Oman today, who helped facilitate these talks. I have a readout for all of you. He held a call with the Sultan of Oman today, and he thanked him for hosting the first direct meeting between the United States and Iran and emphasized the need for Iran to end its nuclear program through negotiations. The two leaders also discussed the United States' ongoing operations against the Houthis and emphasized that the Houthis will pay a severe price until they end their attacks on maritime traffic in the Red Sea. As you know, an additional negotiation between Steve Witkoff and Iran's representative has been scheduled for Saturday. And since these are ongoing negotiations, I have nothing more to add on that.
This is so true that the Jewish students do deserve an apology. And I hope the White House throws whatever it can on Harvard and the other Ivy League to be held accountable for allowing this to happen, and that should never, ever allow that to repeat itself in any way. It is up to us that we need to have a voice. We cannot be silent. We cannot just stand on the sidelines as spectators and watching these events unfold without shouting out loud. We as human beings were given the ability to use our mind and our speech together. It's a tool, it's a gift that God has given us human beings to utilize. We cannot remain silent, whether it's shouting loud or writing letters in protest. But the voice has to be heard. The universities need to be held accountable. The professors need to be held accountable. The presidents of these universities need to be held accountable. What we saw was unimaginable. Who would have ever thought? When you think about how many Jewish students have given so much of their life in education and have sponsored so much at these universities, that they would be treated like this. No students should have ever been treated with such prejudice and such hate of any race, color, or religion. But anti-Semitism has no place at Harvard or any other of the Ivy League. So we certainly hope that this would be a turning point of accountability for what has occurred since October 7 that will never happen again. God bless you. God loves you.